Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JKWD Podcast. We hope you are having an excellent day. I know I am so far. Kelvin, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Did I mention I was doing wonderful? Yeah. I have a little stuffy ear, like there's too much earwax or something that I can't hear out of its ear. But once we get rid of that, we'll be fine. Otherwise, I continue to be walking freely about on the planet, even when it's cold and rainy. And I'm getting some new siding on my house. So it's getting a little bit of an update. And then we kind of get rid of the ex-wife color scheme, kind of a thing. And and life is good. I'm healthy. All of my friends and relatives seem to be healthy. Grandbaby's healthy. Hey, life is good.
Awesome.
How's about you?
Well, things are good here. I've got another daycare plague, but
Congratulations.
Things go. Other than that, though, it cooled off a little bit. I went out. I ran 3 miles. I went to the gym. Had a nice morning. Even before I got on to talk to you and make it an even nicer morning.
What a nice man. Well, I'm glad you did that, though, because, I need to make people feel better, early.
We're brought to you today by Vitamin K Daily, where Kelvin makes a bunch of people feel better. All you have to do is go to vitaminkdaily.com, sign up, and for 4 weeks free, followed by $24.95 a year if you decide to stick with it. You wake up Monday through Friday to a reminder how great your day is going to be from the Prince of Positive himself, Mr. Kelvin P. Ringgold Sr. VitaminKDaily.com for 4 weeks free. Let's do the show. Josh and Kelvin World Domination Podcast, where we talk about better humanhood and teach you how to dominate your world. You ready? Here we go. Now, Kelvin, I know it's 2021, but if you had to catch a monkey, and like I said, it's 2021, people really don't have to catch monkeys these days. How would you do it?
I'd probably go to Yellow Pages. No, maybe I wouldn't do that. I'd probably call somebody who knows how to catch monkeys. Find out what they charge, and then, take out a loan. Catching one myself. It's a very interesting concept. I don't know.
So I think
how would you catch a monkey?
How I would catch a monkey is I would take a jar, I'd put some rocks in it so it was heavy, too heavy for a monkey to pick up. And then I'd throw some treats in the jar on top of the rocks. And then I'd throw some treats around the jar. The monkey picks up the treats around the jar and then sees the other treats in the jar, reaches his hand in the jar, grabs the treats. And then it gets his hand stuck in the jar. The jar's too heavy for him to pick up. He's not going anywhere. If there are treats in his hand and he can't get his hand out the jar, his hand's just in the jar. Because monkeys don't let go of the little things. If he just let go of the treats, he could save himself and not get caught. But he got to get caught because he won't let go to think about the bigger picture.
Gotcha.
I think there's a lesson in that.
I think you might be right. So, when you transfer that to real human life type stuff,
yeah.
What kind of What kind of have you ever had such a phenomenon happen in your existence?
Probably.
Oh.
I hold on tight to those grudges, and I'm a Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. So are you, actually, right?
I am too. Yeah,
that's what we do. You don't cross Scorpios because
that's what they say.
We are fiercely loyal, but once you cross us, forget it. You might as well be dead to us.
Yeah, and you see, your birthday is in
November 20th. So I'm right on.
You're deeper into it than I am.
You're on one cusp. I'm on the other.
Yeah, yeah. So it's cool. Yeah. People, they're holding on to the small thing, and it's not. It doesn't even really have to be like a small thing.
It really has to be a thing that isn't serving you.
Yeah. Anything that's not serving you, but you don't necessarily know it's not serving you, because that's a whole different process, figuring that out. So, but yeah.
But once you figure out that it's not serving you, it's still a process to let go.
That's true. Because by then we've built up habits, we've gotten used to it. It's accustomed, it's programmed in us in some kind of way.
I mean, if we keep on that monkey there, he's going to realize sooner or later that he's not going to get those treats. If he lets go of them, maybe he can go find some treats somewhere else. Just these right here, not happening. Not happening.
Might even be able to find the same treats and not in some places not in that jar.
That's right.
Well, I would love to sit and tell you that I've never had a situation in my life where that was a problem. But since I continue to wake up and breathe every single day, I would be so lying to you and to myself, because there are things I do get to hang on, and for some reason just can't seem to let go. And a lot of times when you do the deep dive and find out what it is we're really holding on to, sometimes we can't figure it out. Like, why is this thing, this feeling, this person, this whatever, why won't that go away? So I can progress. Have you had such a thing recently?
Had such a thing recently. Yeah, and a lot of it is mindset for me. COVID has probably done this to a lot of people. And for a long time we were trying not to leave the house very often, and everything seemed to hold us back from going out. Now, my wife and I are both fully vaccinated, and I've talked to other people who are fully vaccinated who don't feel like they're any safer than they were before, or at least they're not acting any differently than they were before. And my thought has been, well, why put yourself through, getting stuff shot into your body if you're not going to allow yourself to go back and do the things that you were doing, like going to see friends and eating at restaurants and all the things that we hoped would get us back to normal at some point.
Yeah.
And so we've started doing that. I waited till I was fully vaccinated to be ready to go back to full contact at the lodge, where we're shaking hands and everything. And so I'm looking forward to that next week. And we've eaten inside restaurants a couple of times, and I'm looking forward to getting together with friends and actually hugging them and stuff. we haven't done a lot of that in the last 15 months. That's too long for humans to be doing what we're doing.
At my last Toastmasters meeting, one of the fellows that gave a speech was recalling our path through this COVID thing, and he said, for our club, the last time we've been able to meet as a club and actually hug each other and talk and shake hands was 433 days ago. And when you say 12, 13 months, it sounds like it's been a while. When you say 433 days, that seems like an eternity.
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time. And was I talking to you? Was it you I was talking to? Or we were talking about the number of sunrises, sunsets we see in a lifetime. So I can't remember.
I don't recall that specifically, no. But
I was talking to somebody in the last week or so, where no, I know who it was. It was one of the guys from Lodge. He went through his life, and he's coming up on 40 years of dating his wife, and he said, yeah, 40 years of dating his wife, and he said, we only get about 30,000 sunrises in a lifetime, or however many whether it was 30,000 sunrises in a relationship. He'd done the math on the day, so he's like, it sounds like a lot, but it's not that much. It goes by.
Yeah,
it must have been in the relationship.
Yeah,
because he now that I'm doing the quick math in my head, a little less than 3 years will be 1,000. So
yeah, but it's yeah, and I haven't even had these kind of restrictions, and I don't see many sunsets. Well, I mean, I'm awake. I wake up after the sunset, but actually to sit out and watch it occur, nah, not so much.
I try to take note. I'm often working at sunset, but I try to walk by my windows and take note. I try to see a bunch of sunrises. I run for a lot of sunrises, actually. Not so much the middle of the week after I've been working late, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I usually get to see a sunrise. Cool. Whether I'm out walking the dog or running. My favorite is to get out there start running at 5 o'clock and be right in the middle of runner's high when the sun starts coming up.
Got it.
Is that runner's high, unlike other stress systems, if you're lifting weights or in the middle of a long work shift or in the sauna or something else that's stressing your body out, it's getting your adrenal system. It's norepinephrine and that kind of stuff flooding your system, and it just feels really good when you stop, because you get the happy chemicals that come back in. Runner's high actually hits your endocannabinoid system, which is the same.
Yeah,
which is the same system that THC, marijuana hits. Yeah. So we actually
running's legal.
Yeah, we actually have a. Well, where you are, so is marijuana. We actually have a built-in receptor for this drug. Like we're kind of meant to have it hit us, and that's what runner's high hits. So it's almost a psychedelic experience, and then the sun starts coming up, and it's like, oh, I'm in a brand new world. And to kind of tie this back into our monkey not letting go. it's hitting that system a few times a week that lets me let go of stuff. You know, if I'm not sweating, if things just build up and nag at me,
Mhm.
if I can get out there, especially for the next few hours,
Mhm.
I don't care. Whack me over the head with a prod. Don't whack me over the head with a cattle prod. But
I was going to say, be careful what you ask for, because
don't do it.
It is 2021, and
it's hard to. It's really hard to perturb me for the next few hours, and even depending on how that next few hours went, the rest of the day.
Mm-hmm. Yes. We're having some work done on the house, so if you hear some clunk, 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 those are highly skilled carpenters helping to install new siding on my place. So forgive the bumps if you hear them. Yes. I haven't been out even in nature. I used to go over to the park here and walk around. I wouldn't really consider that nature, but as nature goes,
that's nature.
It's close. It's closer than some of the other places.
I mean, it might not be raw nature. I mean, it might be planned, but stepping outside your door, you're in nature, and you're in air and lawns and trees and stuff.
I'm pretty easy to please. So, well, maybe, actually, maybe I shouldn't be. Maybe that's not really the advantage these days, being easy to please, because there's not a lot of stretching in that. So you would think perhaps maybe there's not a lot of growth in that. So somebody like you, I know that you are very particular about a number of things, and like the running and the exercise. I started yoga, but I haven't. It must have been too tame for me or something. I got to get back to that. I think I promised my daughter I was going.
I said, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah, do that. But
you say you're kind of easygoing and easy to please, but I remember a time not too long ago when you had some letting go to do. When you had some people purging from your heart that you had to take care of, and that lightened your load quite a bit.
Oh, you remember that, do you?
I remember that. And I think we even talked about that on the podcast. Like it was recent enough that ago.
Yeah, we had to do some of that.
Yeah. I mean, you do hold on to some things longer than you hold on to others.
Holding on to it is one thing.
Yeah.
Realizing you're holding on to it is a whole other process, right? Because with our wonderful human minds, we can be holding on to things that we don't even know. Old grudges, old pain, old disappointment in ourselves for something we did or didn't do. So it's not even just the little treats in the thing. There are some things we might be liking on that front that we can't let go, we can't move from. But sometimes it's not even something that's good for us that we're holding on to.
Yep.
We can't let go. And whatever the size of the hole in that jar lid, I mean, we have to be able to let that stuff go so that we can move forward anywhere. And sometimes it takes some work. It takes some work. I remember some years ago, I wrote a blog post about it. There were a lot of people that, because I'm nice to people. I don't mess people over and stuff like that. But there are people who I will say they had hurt me. Let's say I was hurt. I felt hurt for whatever reason it was. Mm-hmm. And I made this huge declaration. I made it on social media. I made it on my podcast. I made it on my blog post. And I said, you know what? I forgive everybody. Because, people tell me, holding a grudge is kind of like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. So I'm like, I forgive everybody. And I felt really, really good about that. At the time, I was doing some work with a Reiki practitioner, friend of mine, a Reiki master. And I told her at the time about my letting go. And she said, that's good. By the way, did that include your father? I was like, uh, hmm, uh, hmm. Maybe I might need to go back. I might need to go back and make another pass. But it is amazing the grudges we can hold. So it's just not the little habit we like to be that isn't doing anything for us that we keep. Some of the other stuff that we don't get past. So I'm sure I got a couple of other habits I could let go. At least put them on a timer so I can let go at a certain time. I'd get to bed earlier for vitamin K days, But yeah. So I guess the question for everybody here is, so what is it you actually need to let go of so that you can move forward?
I think that's a great place to wrap up right there. What do you need to let go of so that you can move forward?
And when you figure it out,
let us know.
Let go. Let go.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. jkwdpodcast.com for show notes for this and our other 256 episodes. That's a lot of episodes.
It is.
We've been talking for a long time. VitaminKDaily.com. Get yourself 4 weeks free, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Show notes and more at jkwdpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Bye!
A Better Humanhood production.